Thanks for joining us today. My name is Martina Sabalauskas and I will be your host for today. I hope that everyone is ready, staying comfortable and ready to learn. So, as you may already know, today's topic is directly linked with the health crisis that is already affecting us for 7 months and counting on. Therefore, acting quickly, providing solutions, being close to our partners is something that we greatly value. With this state of mind, we're preparing for what is to come in the near future. Being faster than your competitor gives invaluable credibility. Everyone keeps speaking about this and what will happen and still looking for the right solution for their businesses. Today, I will cover new upgraded solutions and use cases that Teltonika has to offer in regards to social distancing and worker management. Also, I would like to highlight that today we will have live Q&A session. Therefore, you will be able to get the answers to your questions immediately. If you may and could ask the questions in English, I would appreciate that. If not, your local language is also fine. And coming to the agenda and what we have today, I would like to highlight a few main things. So we will be speaking about 2 totally new solutions today, as well as about our use cases and how to get the most of our units. So stay tuned, try to be active, ask questions during the presentation, and I hope you will enjoy what you learned today. First things first, starting with our worker batch easy. You might be surprised, but today we will cover nearly 10 different use cases that GH5200 unit supports. A good thing about it is that you will not need to find or purchase different devices for different use cases. We are making things easier for you and your customers. Simple yet very smart device which has alarm button, 5 configurable buttons, 2-way communication, man down functionality, no movement alarms, and probably the most important social distancing feature. So without further ado, let's head forward and introduce our new use case as a protector or logger device. Heading straight to our new use cases, logger is the first one, and let's speak about it as a standalone GH with increased privacy. For example, big events. If your business or you are directly working with a huge event which is required to hold from, let's say, 500 to 2,000 people and even more, and if someone from attendance gets infected, it is extremely inconvenient to put that much people into isolation. Imagine how many beds, separate rooms, and medical resources that will require. It would be much easier if we could only put infected people and those that they had contact with into isolation. The key features of the solution includes the history of contacts, privacy protection, pairing of the device with a person on entrance to the event, mobile app or QR code, quick to disinfect, light, easy and comfortable to wear, possibility to manage visitors by zones by beacons as well. And here is an example how to carry out in a big event and how the zones are divided to take an extra care of a mass of people. So people wearing GH device in the zone A would not be locked between each other. However, if at some point they would interact with someone from, let's say, zone B, it would immediately gather the event. Teltonika is always acting quickly to the market needs and possible solutions that we can create and launch. We have been working on joint projects with Teltonika networks and make sure that we can have even more cost-efficient solution to use all across the world. This is the unit from Teltonika Networks, which we have incorporated together with GH5200 to support communication where GH5200 only needs to communicate via Bluetooth. Features as dual SIM, alert notification, and VPN support as standard at Teltonika routers. How it works? We have created a special firmware with RUTX support. If our device has proximity record in the memory, it broadcasts the ID with priority. If there are lots of records and they are older than priority, then the priority is higher. Data can be sent from 0 to 255. RUTX connects to the device with the highest priority and reads the data after reading records are being sent for acknowledgement. Then devices deletes the data from the memory and priority broadcast is being renewed. Simple as that. If you would still require deeper explanation, please ask in the chat and our engineers will explain more. This is a simple topology and example how the devices are being set up together. It is worth noticing that in this case, you only need one SIM card for the router to send all the required data directly to the server side. Our GH5200 devices do not require additional SIM cards, saving costs all the time. I want to highlight as well that this is one perfectly fits and works where there is no 2G connectivity anymore because of our RUTX 11 can easily provide that. Here we have one of our current use cases that are being implemented into huge offices with numbers exceeding 1,000 people working in the same area. This has to come from one of our partners, which I may share with you later on. So here you can see a charging disinfection station where simply no manual labor needed. The charging is being carried out through magnetic USB ports and device disinfection using UV technology. That allows to save a lot of time, which most of the time equals money, as well as to keep social distance and to manage people movement in a safer way. Questions about the usage scenarios could be as well raised in a Q&A session. Okay, so I have introduced our use cases and the ones that have extreme interest now. I would like to call them hot. I'll be overviewing a few more. However, now I would like to ask you all to think about what kind of needs does your customer have. Being a leading IoT manufacturer in Europe, we can always offer more than our competitors. Therefore, any additional improvement on the case or any development of the product is highly valued by us. So please feel free to share your needs or requirements in Q&A session or drop us an email in our website. Now, moving on with the usage scenarios, GH5200 could be used as a healthcare tool for hospital workers monitoring, which is a crucial part now all over the world. They're facing high workloads and sometimes it is difficult to monitor that. Our unit may come to help solving the management problem, with which you may control the time doctor have rested, worked, had lunch, and notify him when he have to take a break. Also, it is perfect ID card holder, as you can see here. So you can put the ID easily and access any control panel in the office or different kind of environment. Okay, so as you may know, it has passed nearly 2 months already since the schools and universities have started. And after that happened, the cases of COVID-19 obviously spiked. And now, sadly, but the numbers, the cases are rapidly growing every day. So no one wants to close the businesses and wants to continue working and learning. We have come with a use case which is suitable for both universities and schools. You can predefine these units that may be used into one class and make sure that students do not meet from different classes. That helps to avoid unnecessary contact. Schools are, as mentioned earlier in the previous slide, okay, so Amber Alert, this one actually needs quite a bit of explanation, but I will try to make it simple. So employees are the most valuable resources of every company, right? And unfortunately, not every employee works in the safe conditions. One of the ways to protect lone workers is to use GPS trackers. However, lone workers usually work in the areas where there's no GPS signal or it's not available, or they visit multi-floor buildings, which means that in those areas it is difficult to identify a person's exact location. So Amber Alert function allows your employees to record exact locations and plan time of the activity before starting it. The recorded audio message is saved by emergency call center, which will be able to play back if alarm button is pressed or the timer runs out. With the help of GH5200 and Amber Alert function, companies will be able to know exact locations of employees and help them in need. Let me give you a little selling tip. This functionality is extremely popular in the UK's market and is one of the easiest sales that you could make. Okay, social distancing. So I believe that most of you are quite aware about this kind of solution. So this particular feature was our first, which we have launched in late April, while we were acting quickly to changing markets. Since then, as I have presented to you, a lot of different use cases came in. Moreover, I would like to emphasize that the stability of the solution itself has been constantly improved. Furthermore comes another use case which probably could work in both ways. So the first way, with GSM connectivity from the unit. This use case perfectly describes how construction sites could be managed to avoid unnecessary contact between employees. At the same time, have the functionality of a tracker, two-way communicator with alarm button in case of emergency. And the second one, as shown here, without GSM connectivity from the unit while having a RUTX 11 as a communication hub. Same as in the office use case with a router. Please know that with it, this is only works as a logger, so no additional features will be supported in that case. Okay, so coming to an end of our webinar, we have a Zoom Home functionality. This is a use case used for strict monitoring of a people, which I wanted to cover since second lockdown is already here and it's now all across the Europe. And yeah, so how does it work? So pretty much GH5200 device checks connection to the BLE bracelet and location. If BLE connection is lost, GH5200 will switch to pre-alarm mode. If location is away from GeoZone, then device alert to the server. We have the possibility to call to GH5200 as a as it is a two-way communicator. To remove the BLE bracelet, you would need to cut the strap. Okay, so thanks for your time.